Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about risk and impermanent loss in DeFi. And it's a topic I get into conversation almost weekly with individuals who I meet in all of crypto, in the crypto space. And we're going to take a look at it. I personally have had experience in the DeFi game studying it on the Ethereum side for 2 years, studying, not participating. And then coming up on 3 years now in the Cardano ecosystem of DeFi as it relates to decentralized exchanges, money lending platforms. If you're in the Cardano ecosystem at all, you know that we have this liquid non-custodial staking mechanism, and to some degree that's participating in some sort of DeFi where your ADA is growing very passively. And so we're going to look at risk. We're going to look at low risk to all the way through high risk, which is kind of moves along the spectrum of passive participation to more active participation. And then I want to tackle impermanent loss, right? Chances are if you're watching this video, you're an ADA holder. I do a lot of Cardano specific content. It's the blockchain that I chose to provide all my liquidity and provide my participation into the DeFi space because I wasn't extremely comfortable with Ethereum's DeFi. So I studied Ethereum. I studied Uniswap, PancakeSwap, Aave, Curve. They have lots of fantastic products out there. Read their white papers, wrapped my mind around what an AMM DEX is, an automated market maker DEX. And we're going to talk about that because that's where this impermanent loss phenomenon comes into play. And to be honest, it prevents so many people from participating, and it's sad for me because I think that a lot of Cardano holders out there would benefit from actively participating in Cardano's DeFi ecosystem if they had a little bit more knowledge and understanding, because there's a lot of liquidity in holders that just are holding bags of ADA. This is my first point. If you're a Cardano holder and you've been holding on to ADA for, let's say, this whole bull market or this whole bear market, from 2 years or more. So like the video, subscribe, and share if you are holding onto ADA for over 2 years of time. And so if you think about your wallet, you have ADA in your wallet. So you've either bought ADA at some point, at some price, or you were given ADA because you're working with the organization somehow. But if you have purchased ADA and you're holding on to it for this long, let's just take a look right now at impermanent loss as it relates to just holding ADA. This is how I look at it, because if you bought ADA, let's say you bought ADA towards the dollar mark, right? Maybe somewhere around when ADA was $1. Its previous all-time high was $3. So let's just say you purchased it around $1, and right now it's around 36, 35, 37 cents, kind of fluctuating in that mid to mid 30 cents, unfortunately. And so essentially, when you're holding on to ADA, there is ADA and versus the dollar or the currency that you live with. And so if you have ADA in your wallet that you purchased at $1 and today it's at 30 cents, but you've been holding this entire time and you sold right now, you would suffer a loss, right? And so if you held onto your ADA until the structure of the markets change into more of a bullish sentiment and ADA goes back up to $1 and levels off to where you purchased it at, even goes higher towards $2, maybe its previous all-time high $3 or above, creates a new all-time high. Well, that loss is not permanent, correct? I mean, it's obvious, but so right now you're in an impermanent loss situation, meaning if you held and you sold right now, you're going to lose. You're going to transfer that definition of impermanent loss and you're going to make it permanent by your action of selling. So to be honest, you already are in a liquidity provider position like you would on an AMM DEX. And it's not the same, and we're going to get into it, but it kind of is, in the sense that you have ADA right now, and then you have this invisible pool of the dollar that when you bought the ADA at that specific time, you traded your dollar bill for the ADA that you have in your wallet. And so essentially you're sort of calibrating your ADA in your wallet to the dollar amount that you bought it for, because we are all interested in not having our money get wasted or whatever, right? So it's not that you got into ADA and bought ADA because you wanted the price of ADA to go up. Maybe you got into the ecosystem because you're involved in the project in some capacity and you believe in the project more than you care about number going up. But we don't want to like throw our money away. And so you sort of recognize, like you know what you bought ADA for, right? And you have this invisible pool over here of the dollar to sort of relate it to. And then when ADA price goes down, you are in an impermanent loss situation. So if you've held on to your ADA, shout out to you. If you've held on to your ADA strong throughout this entire bear market, and also if you have accomplished holding your ADA for this long, you are a good candidate for liquidity providing. Because liquidity providing is a long-term play, right? It's not this short-term thing that you get into where you're just dumping tokens and providing liquidity for these short stints of time, and then just kind of like backing out of the system, right? When you're liquidity providing, you are providing liquidity for a very long time. It's a long game. It's a passive participation. And I will say two things about everybody that I've ever talked to about claiming they have gotten wrecked in DeFi. There are two strange similarities that 100% of the people I've talked to, and I've talked to a lot of people now, that tell me about when I talk to them about providing liquidity or getting into DeFi, they talk to me about how they got wrecked. So the two strange similarities, the first one is, I've not talked to a single person that has participated in DeFi that has gotten wrecked that it has not been from another blockchain outside of Cardano. And almost 98% of the conversations all come from the Ethereum side. So I have never spoken to a person who has told me, that doesn't mean that Cardano DeFi is flawless and there are no risks, and we're going to look into that. I'm just saying that it just so happens to be that every single person that I've ever talked to in the space at all about DeFi overall, it is from the Ethereum side. Okay, and even at Rare Evo. So this was a Cardano event in Las Vegas that we just went to. Conversations there, they were about being wrecked from the Ethereum side. The second similarity is that through asking further questions, I'm like, well, what happened as we sort of, investigate what went on such that you were wrecked, 100% of the people also talk about how they've sold when the pools fluctuate. And so there you go. It's really not a matter of being wrecked in the sense that you would just innocently be destroyed in your portfolio. It's that you made the decision to sell in perhaps a knee-jerk response out of your positions because you got a little worried that the proportions of your portfolio changed in a direction that you didn't anticipate. And so you, yes, are going to experience this impermanent loss. And if you sell, just like you would if you had ADA in your wallet and you sold, you would lose. And you would make that impermanent loss permanent. So in this game of providing liquidity, I am no stranger to the subject. I've been doing it with MinSwap and Wing Riders, Buy Finance, doing it now with Genius Yield, Sunday Swap, okay? Creating pools, providing liquidity. There's been a lot of volatility. I promise you that if you hold around and you stick around, pools have a tendency to rebalance. And if you can stomach the rebalancing portion of time and hold strong, then these impermanent loss situations tend to change back to an equal value of portion. And I'm going to show you right now snapshots of, I took some screenshots before the video to show you my positions, some of my major positions on MinSwap on one of my accounts, to give you a little bit of an understanding of what the pools look like, what is an AMM style DEX, and what does that mean? It's automated market maker. And so you're market making, right? When you provide liquidity on a decentralized exchange like MinSwap, you are a market maker. You're becoming a market maker. And through the smart contract logic and the technology of what MinSwap is performing under the hood behind the scenes, and this was really pioneered by Uniswap on the Ethereum side and PancakeSwap, some of these other DEXs on Ethereum, like I said, I've studied, and you can study too, and it's worth your time to study what this logic is that it's automated. So you're not having to come in and completely tune your positions like you would if you were providing liquidity on an order book DEX. And so all the centralized exchanges out there like Kraken, Binance, Coinbase, these are centralized exchanges that have an order book. So the market makers that come into those exchanges are actually manually coming in there. Well, it's automated to some degree with bots and whatever, but they're coming in with liquidity, a ton of liquidity on both sides of the market. So if in Kraken, you can buy ADA and USD, market makers are coming in there with ADA and USD and putting positions on both sides of the market, both sides of the price. But you're constantly having to change your positions to follow that delta, that as price goes up and down, your positions need to change so that you can still stay competitive and make money on the spread. It's a whole different animal, order book DEXs and AMM, automated market maker DEXs. And so this AMM style DEX is a brand new revolution that the world has never seen. And so with that comes this new term called impermanent loss, and people freak out about it. And frankly, I don't think they have the best idea. Now, this isn't all of the ideas. This isn't everything about impermanent loss, but I'm going to show you my take on it. Let me show you through taking you on a trip down screenshot lane here with some of my positions to get you involved with what I'm talking about here. So we are on MinSwap. Let me just make sure we're over here. Okay, yes, here we go. We're on MinSwap exchange. We're going to do this. We're going to do this on MinSwap, this example on MinSwap. It's where we have a bunch of positions. It's the largest DEX by volume on the Cardano ecosystem. And right here, you're just kind of on the home page of MinSwap. All right. And I'm going to take you to this little whiteboard. So I got all these screenshots. And we're going to start just off the bat. You know, you talk about risk. You obviously need to understand what these projects are doing. And as far as like the integrity behind the technology, I'm just showing you this as the part. I'm always talking about being a part of Discord with these projects that you are potentially thinking of participating with. But here's just a little announcement on the 5th of September on Catalyst. If you're voting for Catalyst, they got funded for a liquidity bootstrapping event, V2, and their smart contracts underwent a rigorous audit by CertiK. They open sourced the code for 15 plus days and launched 107,000 ADA bug bounty, inviting developers to inspect it. So if you were a developer that had some free time to go ahead and inspect the code, you found a bug, there was a bounty of 107,000 ADA that was up for grabs. And they're thrilled to announce that no bugs were reported in the LBE V2 smart contract during the bug bounty. And what's exciting is they say, well, it's not over yet. MinSwap Labs has decided to keep the bug bounty program running. So if you discover any vulnerabilities in the MinSwap LBE v2 code and meet the guidelines, a whopping 107,000 ADA is still up for grabs. So I just wanted to show you that because I'm a person that thinks about risk and mitigating some of the risk through educating yourself, through wisdom, through knowledge. And I used to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and mixed martial arts fighting. And when I first got into that, some of my friends were like, "Are you crazy? And you want to do competitions? That's scary. There's so much risk involved." And it is, right? It totally is. If you're someone that just jumps into the arena with no training, with no education, with no knowledge, then the risk is extremely high. But if you train properly, if you lift weights on the side, if you run to build your stamina, if you care about your diet and you eat properly, you read and study film and watch tapes and read books and practice and visualize. If you do all these other things, it doesn't necessarily, obviously, the risk is not reduced to zero stepping into the arena. There's still amazing risk because you never know what's going to happen, but your risk is mitigated through the preparation that you go through. And so when it comes to liquidity providing, when you're providing liquidity, when you're getting involved, I view it similarly. Like you're stepping into an arena, a major arena that has a lot of risk, that you're never going to get rid of all of it, but you can prepare yourself such that you can mitigate the risk. And what do I mean by that in the liquidity providing space, the DeFi participation space? It's reading white papers, it's reading audits, it's joining Discords and saying hi to the team. If I join if I'm thinking about a new, what's a new protocol? I just did a video about Yam4. If I'm reading something about Yam4, I hear something about Yam4, and then I go to their Discord and I reach out to them and say hi, and they ignore me, then I probably don't want to be involved in that ecosystem. Because if I do begin to participate and something does kind of not go right, like there's a glitch and I need to go to Discord to talk to somebody and open a ticket, chances are that nobody's going to respond to me. So I like to go through a process of lifting the weights, so to speak, running for stamina, so to speak, right? Reading the papers, doing preparation, training in a way before I like to participate. And so it's the same thing with liquidity providing, and you're starting small too, right? You're not just going to jump into Madison Square Garden, which would be the equivalent of like dumping your entire portfolio into a decentralized exchange, right? You're going to start off with a little intramural competition, right? You're going to start off with a little local tiny competition where barely anybody's around, meaning you can take a fraction, you can take 0.01% of your portfolio or tenth of your portfolio or something, or 100th of your portfolio. So if you have 100K ADA, take 1,000 ADA and begin and watch it over the month, right? Don't dump yourself all the way in. When I first got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was like, I want to go right into a competition. The sensei was like, no, stop, And then I got into boxing, and they take their time. You look at some boxers, they have like 100 amateur fights before they ever go pro, because you want to build up your confidence, your knowledge, your skill, repetition. Okay, so we're moving through. What I'm showing you now is the farm section of MinSwap, and what you're looking at, I'll kind of show you this here. We're looking at 3 farms, and then when we scroll down on the next slide, you'll see I have some other just things I want to show you here, because there's a lot on this list. And so here are 3 farms. These are 3 of my positions in 3 projects. You have SPXT and ADA, so this is Smart Places. And this right here is an LB farm. All right. This is an LB farm. Let me see if I can boop, get some drawing going. So we have an LB farm here. Pen. Okay. Oh, I got to do it with my little pen, huh? Okay. So here's an LB farm. It's not doing it, huh? Let me see if I click that. It's not letting me. Oh, it is. It's like it's like black or something. That's what you love about doing the lives, right? Okay. See if this will work. What? Okay, cool. So it's red. So this is an LB farm. This was a liquidity bootstrapping event farm. We just looked at the fact that they went through their audits. MinSwap went through their audits for the liquidity bootstrapping event V2. So you need to have participated in the liquidity bootstrapping event to be a part of this farm. Smart Places does have a farm that is not an LB farm that you can still provide your liquidity in. But what I wanted to show you is this right here. So this harvest button, right? This harvest button right here, I clicked it. Now these are screenshots, so I can make this video kind of seamless and not bounce around. And what I want to show you is I hovered on harvest before I took the screenshot to show you how many rewards I've harvested. Now we're looking at this for the purpose of understanding impermanent loss, because everybody wants to focus on impermanent loss. And that's what we're going to tackle head on right here. Now, impermanent loss, keep your mind on this harvested. Impermanent loss is when you enter a pool, right? When you enter a pool, and I'm going to show you, we're going to back up. See, I have all these slides prepared for you. It's going to be nice to show you these slides. This is the SPX, the Smart Places ADA pool. Okay. This is the pool that has broken down the statistics of the pool. All right. So the TVL in this pool is 1 million ADA, right? It talks about the LP liquidity provider fees, volume in the past 24 hours. There was 18,000 just in the last 24 hours. Again, I took this screenshot today, right before I start this video. Total liquidity provider tokens, the trading fee, 7-day volume, so 223,000 ADA. It's pretty good. ADA, it's growing. It gives you the policy ID, and so you understand that you're actually in the correct pool. And this is version 2, right? So you want to make sure. So I just kind of pasted that up there for you. But what I really like about this is the pool composition. And so this is what I mean by an automated market maker DEX. So you have 50, you always are going to have a 50-50 ratio of ADA in the Cardano native token. And so the TVL, that's 1 million ADA, is comprised of 511,000 ADA, okay, which is 50% of the pool, and 1.159 billion Smart Places tokens. And so the dollar amount is exactly the same. So it's $181,888 in each pool. So they're 50-50. This is the entire pool. This is everyone in the pool. Okay. People like you and me that just put our liquidity in, added up equals these amounts. Okay. And they're growing. And so let me just show you I stretched out, because I'm going to show you the OrcFax pool also. So I wanted to show you this here. This is my Smart Places ADA pool. This is my pool. So I'm only providing, okay, so so my net worth of providing liquidity is 3,375 ADA. So it's not that big of an amount. And the pooled ADA, because again, it's a 50-50 share, is 1,646 ADA is equal to, okay, this amount of Smart Places tokens, 3,729,601. This is a really new project startup, okay? Shout out to Smart Places. They're sponsoring the Cardano Summit. They're one of the sponsors in Dubai. So shout out to that pool or that team. Go over there and reach out to Smart Places. They have some interesting things coming up right now. Some chances for you to win. So this is my pool share. And so what happens is, what I want to talk about in permanent loss. Let's say Smart Places has an adoption correction that's going to happen, meaning the value of the Smart Places tokens is going to go up in percentage against ADA. So let's say right now, just for ease of sake, that ADA is going to stay right where it is in price, but Smart Places is going to grow in value. What's going to happen is you're going to get less of this token in the pool because there's more demand for this token. Okay, so we're going to get less of this one. This might drop down to something like 2.7. Trying to draw with this thing. 2.7 million in this pool. Because when a token is going up in value, that means there's more demand for the token. That means that more people are buying this token, okay? And they're buying it with ADA. So the token that's increasing in value is always going to be sold off compared to the other token. And this is why people freak out about impermanent loss. But I'm going to show you some interesting things if you stick around that people are not looking at and understanding, in my opinion, okay? Because you're just so fixated on this and you're wrecked from conversations talking to people from the Ethereum space. So there's going to be less, like I said. If this goes up in value, you're going to get less of them. So it kind of sucks. But the thing about this one is you're going to get more of this one. Okay? See if I could fit the word more in here. You're going to get more of this side because there's less demand. So there's going to be more supply, right? And this is in value. So you might now, this pool might go to 2K or something, right? These are very crude numbers. 2K ADA. So it increases from 1,646 ADA to 2,000 ADA. And then this one is going to drop in token number amount from 3.7 million Smart Places tokens to 2.7. And so the total net worth can also lower. But what I want to show you, okay, so let's just kind of keep this in mind. Let's say it drops. I'd leave 1 million tokens drop out of this pool in this impermanent loss situation. And then what happens is when you look at this, you're gonna start getting freaked out because you would ask yourself the question, man, if I just would have kept 3 million, my 3.7 million tokens, my Smart Places tokens in my wallet, I would have been able to sell them for that profit that I'm missing out on here. So I'm losing so many of these tokens. I would never sell them right now as the price is going up. And so that's like interesting because so then why would you freak out if you're losing these tokens? It's like you wouldn't sell them, right? So it's understandable that you're going to be a little bit nervous, right? Again, this is kind of like a little bit of a risky scenario where you're like, but you like ADA, right? You're getting more ADA, but it's at a time where you don't really want the ADA. You'd rather have the Smart Places tokens, okay? And at a time where you'd rather probably sell some of your ADA and buy some of the Smart Places tokens, it's doing the opposite. You're really losing Smart Places tokens and you're gaining ADA. Okay. But you're in this for the long haul, right? You're in this for the long haul. And this to me is exactly what it's like if you were to just take your ADA and sell it when you have a loss, right? Unfortunately, people do this. And so right now, if you did this and you just sold because you're nervous, you're like, oh my God, my Smart Places token pool is going to go all the way to zero. You're nervous about that, so you'll sell. And right here, you would suffer an impermanent loss. And in fact, it would be permanent, right? But if you just held on for a while, it might not be that case. So why do I say all this stuff? Well, let's go over here to the pool. This is literally what it looks like right now. Okay. This is what it looks like. So my 3,000 ADA staked. Okay. And the reason that number is different, and it says total net worth over here again. Sorry, I'm going to bring you back. The total net worth is including my pending rewards, which I haven't harvested yet. Okay. But 3,293, that number up there, is going to represent the pool share minus the pending rewards. And this is what we're going to kind of get to, right? This is why we're doing this. So, like, are we understanding harvesting and yield farming and things like that? So if you look at that pool again, if you look at this pool, and we're going to look at it for a second, there's 57%, okay, APR. 57% APR on the pool. So I'm providing liquidity. I stepped into the arena with 3,000 ADA here. Yes, I divided my 3,000 ADA into separate parts such that I have 1.6K ADA left, and then I have that 3.7 million Smart Places tokens in this pool. And so my 3.2K ADA is growing at 57%. And when you look at that, so over here, it's the same farm, right? It's the same farm. But what I did was I toggled here on the APR to pop the box up so you can see. So my ADA here, this 3293 ADA is growing in the form of 57% broken down into these categories. So I'm going to be getting 8.6% of that's going to come from the MinSwap token. 4.8% is coming out of ADA. And then the Smart Places token, I'm going to get 32.6%. These are constantly changing. The more people come in and provide liquidity or remove liquidity, these numbers fluctuate. So I'm looking at this number a lot. Daily, I'm checking this number out to see how we're looking here. This 57% with the Smart Places token has been going on for a long time, several months, since the liquidity bootstrapping event. We looked at the fact that over the past 7 days, there has been 280,000 ADA in exchanging. So you're also getting, as a liquidity provider, a share of the trading fees, 11.2%. And this shows you the emissions. So every single day, Smart Places releases into this pool 1.8 million SPX tokens. Okay, this is how many ADA are coming into the pool every day, and min every day. And when you provide liquidity, you get a share, you get a percentage. And so talk about impermanent loss. Like if the Smart Places token went up in the direction in price against ADA, okay, and I lost 1 million of them, but I gained ADA, I wanted to show you this. Look at this. So this is how many I've harvested. So since I've started this pool, which as of now has not changed dramatically in the ratio of my ADA to Smart Places tokens. Okay, give or take a few Smart Places tokens and ADA here or there. It's basically been an even keel balancing act since the beginning of starting this pool. There hasn't really been any wild volatility, but I do expect that to happen soon. Okay, and that's why I want to show you this, and I will update screenshots to show you how I'll deal with that volatility over time. But look at this. So my Smart Places rewards that I've harvested since the initial stake is 571,126. The ADA that I've acquired since the beginning is 31.6 0.74 ADA, right? And then my min, I've gotten min 1.7 thousand min tokens I've harvested to mitigate that impermanent loss risk in the future. But if you look over here, okay, I have yet to harvest. So this is what's waiting to harvest. My rewards are currently here, okay? And so there are 369 min to harvest. There's 8.42 more ADA and 129,000 Smart Places tokens. Okay, you bring 129,000 to the 571. That's over 700,000 Smart Places tokens. And I do this like once a month sort of a thing. And so, okay, go back to that scenario where Smart Places tokens went up in value and I lost 1 million Smart Places tokens, and I'm upset because if I would have held them in my wallet, I would be suffering impermanent loss. But really, am I? Or am I thinking differently? Am I anticipating that happening? And am I not gaining rewards that will potentially mitigate a substantial amount of that impermanent loss risk? And if I add up what's going on with the min and I add up the ADA, it changes the dynamic differently. And if I think about the fact that I'm also gaining ADA in that impermanent loss situation, right? That pool, that side of the pool is growing in ADA. It really changes the playing field. And so I ask you the question, where are you getting your information about impermanent loss, permanent risk? All right. And so there you can have discussions on what you do with your Smart Places tokens. There could be discussions on what you do with it. Do you sell them immediately? You could zap them back into the pool and increase your liquidity. You can hold them in your wallet. There's so many different things you can do with what you get, okay, as rewards. Now, these yield farming, like for instance, I was a part of the. Let's go to some of these pools here. Let's go to for instance, like I was a part of the liquid pool, liquid finance. Go to the pools. Just going to show you this real quick. Liquid finance, LQ. I'm going to show you a few pools that I provided liquidity on way back. V1, V2, right? Make sure when you're checking these, you're always providing in the V2 pools. Oh yeah, we're going to go to farms. We're going to go to farms because another thing is I'm never providing liquidity. And actually, so this is my Smart Places tiny position that I'm doing for the channel here that I did on the video when we did the liquidity bootstrapping event. That's growing. This is another account, not that screenshot. It's a separate wallet and a separate account, and I'll take you through that as we move through these videos to see the long game as it relates to liquidity providing. And I am staked only. Oh yeah, you have to go down here and apply. All right. So look at this, liquid finance. Okay, so I was a big part of supporting providing liquidity in liquid finance. Okay. But am I wanting to do it now? No, the APR is down to 5%. And it's just not that much. Look, for the min swap, APR, you're getting 1.5%. ADA, you're getting 0.8. Trading fees, 2.7. Yeah, I mean, you can provide liquidity here, right? If you believe in the project. But my strategy is always to follow the higher APRs, the higher APR projects. What's another one? World Mobile is one that I did. World Mobile. They might have a good APR. Yeah, 9.7%. Okay. Right? These are pools that I took advantage of in the beginning and then migrated away. And so when you look at yield farming, all right, yield farming, we're back to the farm screens. Yield farming is something that a token project, a project releases its tokens to incentivize liquidity providers against the risk of impermanent loss, and will not forever be there for you to take advantage of. So this APR is not going to be like this forever. The CBLP APR is not going to be like this. Goki is another smaller position I got here. So it's two and this is another one. It's 2.3K ADA, 2.4K ADA, right? There's only a tiny bit of liquidity in here. There's only 41,000 ADA, but it's growing at 50%. And so when you cut this in half, and I didn't screenshot this one, it's 1.15 thousand ADA, and it gives me like 25,000 Goki tokens. And right now here, you can see I've already got 1.5 thousand Goki tokens as rewards because of this high APR. And so put that next to 25,000 Goki tokens. It's only a matter of time before my rewards will mitigate an entire impermanent loss situation when perhaps Goki goes in the upward direction or vice versa. All right. CBLP, these tokens, these projects are going to change. They're going to change in value. Okay. So let's move over to just to show you a larger pool that I have. And so I'm highlighting the fact pool. Okay, because fact is an OrcFax on the Cardano blockchain. It's only got a 20%. So only, right? I mean, it's pretty good if you think about it. 20%. So when you're holding ADA in your wallet right now, as a long-term ADA holder, congratulations to you. What are you getting for staking? What are you getting? 5%, 4%, 3% if you're lucky. So here's my stuff pool, okay? 22%. Noom, I'm just kind of doing out of charity because I like them. And I have some, right? I have some Noom tokens. So instead of just sitting them in the wallet, I'll stick them in there. So I have 1.4K ADA again staked into the Noom pool because it's working for me more than it is in my wallet. And I'm getting these tokens to mitigate some impermanent risk. I also have some of these staking on Vi Finance. Shout out to Vi Finance. Just talked to Steve, Ward, and John today from the team. They're doing some incredible things on Vi Finance. This is the thing. There's just so much. I could go on for hours. I can go for 8 hours because of everything that Vi Finance is doing and some of these other dexes. But I just want to show you, like 22%. Like what's your ADA doing? And so most of these projects, like fact, I zapped my ADA in, and that is a whole nother feature where it actually divides your ADA in half for you and then breaks up your ADA for you in 50-50 ratios and leaves you with 50% of your ADA, and then it purchases for you 50% of the asset, like fact. Okay. And so I have harvested 30,000 fact tokens. And I still have 14,000 left to harvest. 95 ADA plus 40, 5,447 min plus 1,700 right here. So I hope you can see what it looks like to look at impermanent loss in the face and mitigate your risk by actually understanding what's going on and having a little bit more confidence when you do enter a volatile time when, the stuff token, and by the way, stuff, fact, Noom, I believe that they are going to outperform ADA substantially because they're brand new projects with tiny, tiny market caps with, in my view, a tremendous amount of value. What the stuff team is doing is tremendous for the entire world, let alone the Cardano ecosystem. And their market cap doesn't reflect it. There's a lot of value in here, in my opinion. There's a lot of value in what OrcFax is doing. The triangulated oracle on Cardano DeFi, and starting in Cardano DeFi and spreading to every other real world event that's happening. OrcFax has a ton of value in my opinion in a tiny market cap, which means to me that they're going to outperform ADA, right? So I do expect that my fact portion is going to drop, and I'm going to get a lot of ADA in that pool, and then that is this impermanent loss scenario. Okay, so you can just look at these, right? You can just look at these. And so if we go over to the fact pool, I just showed you it's the same thing. They have TVL of 2.49 million ADA, and it's split 50-50. Here are both sides. Okay, 1.24 million ADA is equivalent to 45 million fact tokens. And this is constantly fluctuating throughout the trading that's going on. Okay. And I dropped down my fact position so you can also see that one. So you can see what a larger pool. Fact is my largest pool on MinSwap, and SPX is one of my, it's like, I think my third to smallest. So here are my LPs. Okay, my liquidity provider tokens for providing liquidity. Here's my ADA, and there's my fact. So right now as of today, my 23,998 ADA is pulled together with 877 fact tokens. When I first started this pool, there was 25K ADA here. 25K. Now it's reduced. I've lost 1,000 ADA. It probably has something to do with ADA's price pumping a little bit today before taking the screenshot. It went from like 35 cents to like 37 cents. And fact didn't really respond much, hasn't been responding. And I think that my fact tokens here were around 850,000. Okay. 850K. And so this is impermanent loss to some degree. So this is how I entered the pool originally with 50,000 ADA, right? So I entered the pool with 50K ADA. Okay, ADA. You see that right now it's worth 48,000 ADA. So it has dropped in value, correct? Easy to see. My ADA went down to 24,000, and my ADA was 25,000 when I began the pool, and it was 850,000 fact tokens when I began the pool. And so with the price of ADA going up, I've lost ADA in the pool to the degree of 1,000 ADA, but I've gained fact tokens. All right. And then here are my pending rewards. These are rewards that I did not harvest yet, right? Those are the rewards I didn't harvest. When you go back over to OrcFax here, if you add these up today, and I trade them all into ADA, I keep the 40 ADA and I trade Min and this OrcFax into ADA, it's going to equal that 510 ADA. But this has already been harvested, right? And I focus on treating this properly in preparation. I don't just dump this out. I don't just dump and spend and whatever. I'm in this for a longer purpose. All right. And so that is what you're looking at there with impermanent loss. Now, if you have several or a dozen integrations with the OrcFax protocol, I would suspect that the OrcFax token is going to go way up in value. And so I will lose OrcFax tokens. It might go from 877 down to 750,000 of them. But my ADA will increase. And the entire time this is happening, I'm gaining those tokens. And so at this rate, at that percentage, throughout a year, I might be above 100,000 OrcFax tokens that I made in yield farming. Okay, not to mention all the ADA that I'm getting in the min swap. So that is my discussion on impermanent loss. Okay, and I took a screenshot here that once a month what I'll do is I'll harvest, and you can harvest up to 5 farms in one transaction, which is nice. So you just kind of harvest all that, and then all of those rewards, the min, the fact, right? So let's say I chose this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay, and this one, I can choose 5 of them, and I'm going to get all the min, ADA, and CBLP from this farm. I'm going to get the fact, the ADA, and the min. I'm going to get the smart places, the ADA, and the min, the stuff ADA, the min. I'm going to get all that in one transaction. Okay, so it kind of saves you some time. In previous iterations of MinSwap V1, you had to do one at a time, so it costs you more in the transactions. And so that is low risk. To me, providing liquidity is a low risk endeavor. I do believe that it is a low risk endeavor if you prepare yourself properly. One thing I'll say is you have to believe in the project you're providing liquidity in. If you don't believe in the project that you're providing liquidity in, then there's really no reason you should be involved in providing liquidity. Because I like stuff, I love what they're doing, okay? Because I like smart places and OrcFax and Noom and these projects, I like them. I'm okay with the fluctuation of the pool because I also really love ADA, right? I really love ADA. So if I like ADA and I like stuff, then I'm okay with getting a little bit more ADA in my pool and less stuff, but I'm getting a lot more stuff in my yield farming and vice versa. If then ADA goes on a tear and just shoots up back towards its previous all-time high of $3 and stuff doesn't really do much and I lose some ADA, but I gain more stuff, I'm okay with that because I like stuff token. And the same goes true with all these projects. So you have to believe in the projects that you are providing liquidity in. And by believing in them, you should be reading what they have going on in their articles. You should be a part of their social media, their Discord, reading their white papers, their audits, checking them out, talking to them directly so that you can feel more comfortable about the product, the mission that they're trying to solve. And in that sense, I rest easily at night. I sleep well because I feel good about these projects. And I want both of these tokens. And yield farming has done nothing but tremendous growth for me in involved myself in these pools. So like I said, I've had Liquid, World Mobile, MinSwap, farming on these projects for years, for 2 years, has provided me a fantastic position with those projects that then I take and I then use them differently into more complex, you could say more risky endeavors. But again, I always think that risk is should be measured against your preparation. It's not that it will eliminate it, but so for instance, you don't see that I have a min pool in my pools, right? I have facts, stuff, CBLP. These are all kind of newer projects, right? Where's my Liquid? Where's my World Mobile? Where's my MinSwap, right? Those are doing other things now. They're working for me in different things. That's what this is all about. You want to put your ADA to work, and your ADA, if you put it to work correctly, it'll work harder than you can ever work. It'll outwork you if you do it correctly. All right. And so, for instance, MinSwap, like Kopi is another pool. If I take you to Kopi, this was a pool I did so much with. I'm still doing a lot with There's so many opportunities for Kopi, but right here, right, 6.5%. Yeah, it's good. That's good. It's, but this was up there in the 20s and 30s, right? It did have its heyday, but Kopi's been around for several years now. MinSwap's been around for several years. This daily emission, this is the amount of min released into circulation as yield farming incentive per every day. This was 1.3 or 1.6 million a day, 1.3 million a day, 900,000 a day, 600,000 a day. It's just over time. In fact, a couple years, maybe like 4 years from now, the daily emissions for the min yield farming rewards, the distribution is going to be over. And the DEX's intention is that it will be lucrative enough for you in trading fees and in a fee sharing program with the trading fees that will incentivize you from being a liquidity provider when more and more liquidity comes in, because Cardano has not seen a bull run in the Cardano DeFi yet. So there hasn't been a DeFi summer, right? And so I just took a screenshot of, and you've seen this if you've watched my videos. It's just a screenshot of the liquid finance position. So I took it today, just so you can see today, September 24th. Look at that, 24 and 24. I love those little similarities there with the numbers. So today, total value locked is 24,839,000. This area here was its top. I think it was up towards like 100. So it's happening. It's building. These projects are building over time. So I have some supplies, some serious supplies, and so I'm just showing you that I'm in it to win it. I'm in the game for a long period of time, doing different things. And so what you see over here are my supplies in MinSwap. And so where have I brought most of my MinSwap? Okay. And my cornucopias brought them over here to liquid for several reasons. Okay. And then I locked them up as collateral, right? So I locked them up fully as collateral. And then I have created borrows against it. So liquid is one of my favorite projects. It's no secret, right? You've seen me do a lot of stuff with liquid. They're actually onboarding now some potentials for Bitcoin and some other heavy liquidity tokens to come on as collateral and opening up markets for them. But so for this 30,000 ADA that I borrowed, which is the equivalent of this $11,000 I supplied my Kopi, took out that loan. And so my health factor here is 1.58 for that. And then so you have this APY of 5.9%. I actually put up a similar amount of the Min tokens for another ADA loan there. Okay. Because Min token is cheaper than Cornucopias. Took out that loan, health factor, and then most recently put up another 580 and took out a little USDM, messing around with that. Okay, with a healthy loan. Now I'm doing this for more complex strategies within the space, and then with these loans, what you could think about doing is bringing these loans into the DEX, okay, and putting them to work in pools that have 50% growth that will outcompete what it costs to supply, or borrow against. So it's just, there's a lot of tools that you have at your disposal being in the Cardano ecosystem. And if you're an ADA holder, and you have been for quite some time through some volatility, you're a good candidate to consider mobilizing a small amount of your portfolio into the DeFi ecosystem because it helps the DeFi ecosystem overall. And wouldn't you want to, as an early participator, as an early holder, get some of the fruits and some of the rewards of the incentives and the emissions that these projects are giving you, rather than feeling timid and holding a large bag in the wallet, which is also okay, to do. You could supplement and try and practice and go here and there. I mean, I think that if every single ADA holder out there just put out 1,000 ADA, every ADA holder above 50,000 ADA, or just took 500 to 1,000 ADA and put it in the Cardano DeFi would be a lot stronger. It would be stronger as such because the participators are strong holders, right? That are in it for the long haul. So where are all the strong holders at? Like, there's so much pump and dump, and it's really like, what are you in this for? Are you in it for the long haul? And in the future, because we haven't even started yet as an ecosystem, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm doing everything in my power to compound the growth so that I can continue to support when adoption comes, when Cardano begins to take off. And I personally love that it's growing organically, okay, in as far as this DeFi world is going. Okay, so there's probably so many things that I forgot to talk about, and we're doing this stuff live just so you can get the video out right now. There are so many things that I could speak on in other capacities, and as far as strategies and things like that are concerned. But when you're moving from low risk to more riskier options, what are your options, right? The lowest risk, I think, is just staking your wallet to a stake pool and getting some delegating your wallet and getting some rewards. I think the next step is you could even just provide some liquidity on a lending platform. So you just supply. You don't have to borrow, right? But then you're going to probably get less rewards than you would if you were just staking it. So then, you can consider borrowing and doing something with that. But less risk to more risk, providing some liquidity on a decentralized exchange like MinSwap and one of those projects that you are happy about and excited about the future of both of those projects. You can start small, and over the course of the month, monitor your yield farming rewards. And I promise you, it has a lot to do with helping you against this impermanent loss phenomenon, okay? And therefore mitigating some risk. So congratulations to you all, ADA holders, and you're in this ecosystem. I still believe we are really early in the project, and there's so much to go. There's so many integrations that are happening behind the scenes. I'm hearing a lot of institutional investors considering Cardano behind the scenes because the Cardano guys just, they're here to stay, right? It's a secure place. And so if I'm an institutional investor, if I'm an institution, when I go through combing these projects with a fine-tooth comb, Cardano is a breath of fresh air when it comes to considering a blockchain to tokenize your company XYZ towards it. So, the future of the world, if it's moving towards a tokenized state, and most companies building on blockchain, then who are they going to consider? I think I would vote that they are moving towards our Cardano adoption. And so what does that mean for Cardano DeFi? And what does that mean to OrcFax as an oracle, and some of these projects like Stuff, that have been building strong through this entire bear market, who have survived. And then what does that mean if you are a participator, if you are one of these liquidity providers with a small amount, right? And so it's all about hedging. It's all about hedging what you have going on. And I'm going to keep putting out videos to show you the opportunities. And I'm going to harvest some of my Smart Places rewards and take you through that process. And then I'm going to add some liquidity to my little Smart Places portfolio here on MinSwap. And I'm going to formalize some other positions. And I'm going to take you through a 4-year journey of a bull and bear cycle. And I'll ask you what you think the targets are for growth in these little portfolios that I have, so that you can see in real time the advantageous opportunities that are available for us all. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Share and thumbs it up. Help out the channel. See me in my email, cryptofluency.io, right? Check me out. We got the email. I got the Cardano Investor Alliance, which is nothing. Meaning it's just you declaring in an email that you are an investor of Cardano, and the alliance part of it is just that you're holding strong, right? You're in it because you believe in this revolution that's happening. And so join the Cardano Investor Alliance. We have over 20 people involved in that. Just simple. There's obligations. You're not giving anything. There's no purchase or anything like that. You just declare that you're in the Cardano Investors Alliance. And then, hey, in the future, when we bust out some NFTs, you'll be an OG and we'll airdrop you your Cardano Investor Alliance first NFT coming from Crypto Fluency, because we got a lot of really fun things happening in Crypto Fluency. I'm not super excited about X and Twitter X and social media as it exists right now, because I think it's an absolute decaying of communications in society. I love putting this out there for you as an opportunity. But I'm hopeful that there will be some heavy hitter social media platforms that are going to come on blockchain that's going to revolutionize social media. And I can't wait to hit the ground running in a project like that, support something like that in the future with a little bit more integrity, so all my time is focused in these markets. I hope you can see that. And so any help you can give me on Twitter, or any help you can give me on X and sharing the YouTube around, because I'm not super in the weeds there. I'm in the weeds in the DeFi here. Okay. And so until the next video, thank you so much. I can't wait to see you in the video soon, or see you in the email, cryptofluency.io. Cheers. Have a good day.